one of the top perimeter shooters in the league and making his second consecutive All-Star appearance from the Charlotte Hornets, Glen Rice. The only remaining member from the Pistons.
Well, in this 50th anniversary celebration season of the NBA, we flash back to the '62 All-Star game in St. Louis, and Philadelphia's Wilt Chamberlain lit up the West squad for 42 points, an All-Star record. Wilt also with 24 rebounds in the game. The West won it anyway, 150-130. There is 13-time NBA All-Star Wilt Chamberlain. Let's
Humble on the bench. Not a lot of shot blockers out there for the Eastern Conference.
Second quarter just underway. Here's Rice. Rice off the follow going.
It's a close game in the fourth quarter. He's going to go with the 5 guys he thinks can win it.
And Michael standing out there during halftime, being honored as one of the 50 greatest, as you just mentioned. That was tiring, though.
Maybe it was a disciplinary matter for not listening to the halftime speech.
Glen Rice with a three-pointer, and it's the East with its biggest lead of the game. They were down by as many as 23. They're now up by 4 points. Malone with the fake. And Malone coming up short. Brandon with Pippen and Rice on the wings. Open shot for one of the best. And he hits it. A three-pointer again for Glen Rice.
Mark, Glenn told me this morning that he is in the greatest shooting rhythm of his life. The hoop looks as big as the backboard. Everything he throws up, nothing but net.
And he has been on a tear for the last month, averaging 30-something. The reason why is he was looking at tapes of their games early in the year, and he felt he was not aggressive. And what really clinched it was his fiance told him, said, "Hey, you think you're playing out there? You aren't doing a thing." And he has gone on a tear ever since. And the happiest guy in the world is Dave Cowens for the way that he is playing. And the East squad, who have been watching Glen Rice fill it up lately, know that he is hot.
Glen Rice averaging 25 a game for the Charlotte Hornets. That's the number 5 man in scoring in the NBA. Plays 42 minutes a game, and that is second in the league to his teammate Anthony Mason.
It's remarkable what they've done in Charlotte with Cowens, Anthony Mason, and Glen Rice leading the way. They brought that spirit back to that franchise that was rocked by a couple of giveaways.
7-point lead for the East. They are on a 37-7 run the last 8 minutes. Rice for 3. Yes! That is his 3rd consecutive from downtown. He was 1 for his previous 7. Gary Payton right back. So it's the East 70 and the West 62.
Mark, nobody stepped up offensively for the Western Conference.
And the foul is called, and Rice shows the entire repertoire, taking it to the basket.
This is a very difficult matchup for the West big forwards, both Sean Kemp and Karl Malone, who are not yet on the same page starting this third quarter. Neither one of them knows who they're guarding, and you just can't leave Glen Rice that open.
I didn't know Sports Illustrated was having such trouble getting tickets here in Cleveland.
And Bill taking a shot. Three-pointer again. Under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. East with the ball. They lead by 10. Rice in a battle with Jones.
Excellent interior post pass.
And Weber able to handle that rebound. Rice running the floor. On Jones.
And Glen Rice wants to show that he is not just a perimeter shooter, that he has improved his post game as Eddie Jones was hung out to dry on the front there. And here running the break as big Chris Weber, who can pass the ball, delivers that one right on time. Game when the big fellas aren't in there clogging things up in the middle?
At times. I wonder. Here's Rice taking it to the hoop. Glen Rice with 18 points in this third quarter.
Basket and try to throw down slam dunks.
Those big galoots. The record for most points in a quarter in All-Star play, 1968, Hal Greer of Matt Gukas' 76ers with 19 points in a single quarter, and Rice with 18, so 1 away. 2:08 to go in the third. It's the East by 13 over the West.
Motion and balance and acrobat with a tongue hanging out and a smile on his face, and he's always knows just what he's doing.
3. East now leads 95-82. A moment ago, Glen Rice did make it 20 points in the third quarter. That is a new All-Star game record, passing by Hal Greer, who in 1968, there's Hal, one of the 50 greatest players of all time. Hal Greer had 19 in a quarter, and Glen Rice is also online for most points in a half. The record is held by Wilt Chamberlain, and he will take this very badly. 23 and a half, and Tom Chambers did it in 87. Here is the bucket by Rice that gave him 20 points for the half. What a performance by Glen Rice. I should see 20 in the third quarter, and he is in line to set the all-time record for a half.
About it. So I thought that it was, up to me to walk over and tell Glenn, and he was only 1 point away from the record of scoring points in a quarter. So what I'm going to do now is tell him that 23 points, is the record for most points in a half. You just broke the most points in a quarter, so you need just a few more. You can handle that, right?
I can handle that.
Okay. All right. Back to you, Marv.
Marv, I want you to be the guy to go tell Wilt that he's no longer in the record book, and then at the same moment tell Wilt that Michael Jordan, where he ranks of all the players, okay?
But Wilt will tell you that he had 24 rebounds in that
arena here in Cleveland, and just moments ago, Glen Rice just broke the quarter record. Yeah, see, and you look back, and Hal Greer held it, right?
Right.
And this is Wilt Chamberlain, who looked back and said, sorry about that, Hal. Well, now, do you know that the other record is most points in a half is 23, held by you?
Yeah, you mean that's going to go to, you think?
I'm just trying to tell you that.
Oh, well, I can do something about that. It hasn't gone yet, though, right?
No, not yet.
Well, I can do something about that. Even if I have to go back and put on some sneakers.
You heard it here first. Maybe a comeback. Marv?
All right, thank you. From three-point range.
Doug Collins just called Michael Jordan over and whispered in his ear, and he probably told him two things. Glen Rice is 3 points away from tying a record. You are 2 assists shy of the first triple-double in All-Star history. Take care of business.
Now to 1:35 remaining in the fourth. Brandon, nice. So Glen Rice with 22.
After that last time out, the East has come out on a couple of occasions trying to run a set play for Glen Rice. Nothing doing, but just on freelance basketball, the fast break, the penetration, Glen Rice moving without the ball.
Timeout is called. 1:23 left.
Ahmad Rashad back at Gund Arena. Now, Marv, I just want you to know that everybody has to do their part in breaking records. You know what I mean? I told Glen Rice that what he had to do to break the record, and Doug Collins is now doing his part because during that timeout, he diagrammed the play to get Glen Rice open so he'd have a chance to break the record. Marv?
All right, let's see how this plays out. Rice with 22 in the second half. You see,
bring it back out and feed Rice one more time.
Wilt looking a little nervous. Very puzzling news. I mentioned earlier.
Garnett is not even taking his eyes.
Brandon just fires it out. And the entire East bench looking at Terrell Brandon. They couldn't believe he took the shot. 131-16 over the fans here. London Payton right back down to 20 seconds. Rice guarded by Garnett. Brandon now trying to get him the ball. Rice being held.
They're going to put him on the line.
Right.
Jordan is saying 3, but what was that?
Right. West over the foul limit. So here is Rice at the line, an excellent free throw shooter. 86%. He can do it right here. First appearance at the line tonight. And that ties the record. Oh, Wilt.
You tell him, Marv.
Wilt Chamberlain, Tom Chambers, Glen Rice in the record books at the moment together. 23 points, most points in a half in All-Star play. And this is number 24 for the half, and that is a new All-Star game record. Final seconds in what has been one of the most entertaining All-Star games in many award in just a moment. And now look at that Free throw by Glen Rice, as we mentioned. Very fine foul shooter, 86%. Conley went to the line, hit 2 of 2 to set the record. And the reaction from Wilt.
Time to write another book, Wilt.
Cleveland and Northeastern Ohio. Thank you, NBA All-Stars, the world's best athletes and the world's best players. And thank you, Glen Rice, 1997 All-Star Game MVP, setting a record for the most points in a quarter and a half.
Restaurants to participate in making this presentation the Most Valuable Player Award. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Hold it up, guys.
All right. Glenn, it had to be special to be the most valuable player in a game like this with all the 50 greatest players in the stand. I mean, you really had your peers watching.
It was very special, and I just got to give thanks to God first of all, and my teammates really did a great job in trying to get me this award today.
All right, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, back to you, Marv.
Thank you, Ahmad. Glen Rice of the Charlotte Hornets winning the Most Valuable Player Award in this year's All-Star Game. What a performance in the second half for Rice. Again, the